Hi friends, hope you're having a lovely day today. I am filming this on my iPhone in the car because, well, I'll get to the iPhone part in a second. But the reason I'm in the car is because I am on my way to work. I'm on tight timing today, and I wanted to film this video, but alas, I needed to get in the car and drive. Second, the reason I'm filming on my iPhone, because the reason is I decided to drop my main shooter for both this channel and vlogs on the ground. Me and my wife were on a lovely hike, and it's like when you have a frog in your hand and there's that moment where you're connecting with nature. It's like a beautiful symbiosis, but there's this tension that's going to jump out. The jumping out part is basically what happened with the camera. The lens broke. It's in bad shape. It's just not working at all. It won't. The camera's not recognizing it. Bad times. In the meantime, I was also interested in a prime lens because I'm considering switching over. I've been doing this for a while. For street shooting to a Sony camera. I got a 50mm 1.8, but it's not the Carl Zeiss version, the cheaper version, if you will, the variety. It's a very wonderful sharp lens, but the autofocus is shockingly bad. It's just shockingly if you're in anything other than a perfect lighting situation, it really struggles. Wow. And that's no good. I'm actually gonna take it back. But we're waiting for a new lens to come in the mail, a new lens for shooting these videos, wider angle, more flexible, and we're waiting for that. In the meantime, iPhone and screen recordings. Speaking of screen recordings, I want to talk about a photographer that is very interesting to me. He has a very unique style, very sort of stark, fantastic work. I follow him. So let's talk about him. Also, I decided to bring my photo bag to work with me today for some reason. It's not normal for me. I'm not sure why I grabbed that. Okay, here we are inside my laptop. Something that I want to do, and that has always been sort of a mini vision of mine for this channel, is I want to focus in on some creators that are smaller, that don't have the following that a lot of photographers that get spoken about get spoken about, but people who blow my face off. And this Michael Portugal, I guess, his last name. If that's his last name, that's pretty fantastic. But he only has 7,000 followers, but his work is pretty outstanding in my opinion. It has this very stark quality to it, but it's stark with substance. And what we see a lot in the especially street photography sphere is a lot of people who go after stark just for the sake of starkness, just the crazy expression, popping off a flash in the face of a hobo or an old woman, just for the sake of the starkness. And I don't find that all that intriguing, honestly. I'm not saying I don't respect it, but I don't find that all that intriguing. But when you're using a sort of stark style with a lot of for photography that feels very intentional and substantial, then you're onto something. With Michael's work, what you see is I wouldn't even call it street photography. A lot of it is very much street photography, but it's more so this sort of roaming vagabond type of thing. You'll see some nature stuff worked in here as well. You'll see that at night he's using flashes and what have you. We have this shot, so this is an example. I mean, he's just on a train, and I love this sort of style of work. I'm traveling all over the United States, and I'm capturing things that I see as I go. And one thing that's interesting about him, you'll see in all of these photos, is he doesn't seem to have reservations about walking up to strangers. I was trying to find a specific photo that, where's it at? Where'd you go? Come to me. Come to me. It is your divine destiny. I'll find another one. You can see with any of these, street-related photos of strangers, that that he doesn't have reservations about walking up to random people and taking their photo as he goes about his travels or what have you. And he seems to move around quite a bit. I mean, this is Fort Lauderdale. This photo is in where I'm at, Salt Lake City, which sucks because I would have loved to meet him because I really do respect his work. It's fantastic. His work has, like I was speaking to, this idea of starkness with substance. His work has a bit of a social commentary vibe to it. It seems like he's trying to say something with everything that he does, and it's extremely stylized. And you'll see that I keep jumping back to the top of the page. I'm going to start having to command click to create a new tab because it shouldn't be doing that. I wish it would just stay where I was. Fantastic stylistic choices, and compositionally, even though his stuff is very rough feeling, it's very meaningful, very intentional the way that he composes his shots and uses lighting, and you can tell that there are choices being made for the style he's going after with his work. And whether it's film or whether it's a digital edited film, it looks like it's definitely film or a fantastic film preset. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love these tones, and I love what you can see. It's sort of, I see more with his photography than most, that you're looking at the world through his eyeballs, in a sense. That it has this roaming quality to it. It has this I saw this thing and it was interesting, so I took a photo of it and I'm sharing it with you kind of quality to it. And all of his compositions, in their weirdness, are extremely interesting. This photo in particular is one that I really love. You can actually see I left a comment right there. That's me. You don't only see San Francisco in this photo, you feel it. It has this emotional aesthetic to it. And this is hard to do as a photographer. This is something that takes a lot of time and for you to be very sort of interpersonal with your work. And it's done here fantastically. The compositionally, it's a brilliant photo. You have the blue sky, you have the red bridge sort of complementing the blue sky very well. It's a lovely play. The light is excellent. And then you have him popping off the flash onto this brown dashboard. Very intriguing sort of, 80s. I mean, very San Francisco. This whole photo is very San Francisco. And oh, by the way, don't smoke, kids. Whether or adults, you'll die either way. This is a brilliant photo. This is another photo that I find quite wonderful as well. I love how he had the sort of presence of mind to capture, to be ready and capture this sort of moment. This is hard to do. All the expressions are wonderful. Once again, he's using a flash very tastefully, popping up the flash on the fist, making that the brightest thing in the image. Bros. The lighting is quite moody, and once again, it just has a vibiness to it. You feel the moment, and that's great. This photo is unbelievable to me. It's an example of using the guidelines of photography and the compositional guidelines, the sort of guidelines of lighting, having this using the window and this very soft light to create something pleasing. Using all of these things to come together in a way that, and sprinkling on top your own personality to create something that is emotional. It makes me want to travel. It has this nostalgic quality to it. And that's something I strive to do every day with my photography. So I would love to hear your thoughts. That's all I have to say today. I'd love to hear your thoughts about his work. What sticks out to you as interesting. Please engage with me. I'll be happy to engage with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Cheers. Goodbye.